to do this. And my bad for not having it set up a little bit better, man. I was scrambling.
Hi, no problem.
So, all right. So it says we are now live on Facebook. And let me pull up the chat on my phone so I can make sure that I'm seeing as people are coming in, I can answer their questions.
Yeah, I got you on my phone.
Yeah. Oh, it looks nice on here like this. Better, man. I was scrambling.
Hi, no problem. Hold on.
Oh, that's on my phone, so I can make sure that I'm seeing as people are coming in. That's crazy. They caught that too, huh? And let me pull it.
Cool.
All right, so I turned mine down. Here we go, man. So first off, man, good morning. We got some folks coming in here, but I appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Yeah, man, no problem. My pleasure.
And it was great meeting you out in San Diego, man. Like I said, when I first got into the camp, which was camp back then, your story was one of the ones that I watched a few times when you were doing your interview on the partner program, man. You're a huge inspiration to a lot of folks in the group. So again, I appreciate meeting you down.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
man. It takes a special mindset to be able to do what you did and to be able to do what we do as business owners. And I just wanted you to come on and share your thoughts with that. So we don't have anybody on yet. Let me make sure that.
That's okay. We can, just talk, and as we talk, people come on. All
right, man.
However you want to do it.
Well, first off, man, how long have you been in business, and what's the name of your business?
So I've officially been full-time in my agency, HolyCow Digital, for almost 2 years. So was it 2018? So I guess August of 2016 is when I went full-time. So yeah, not too long, but I've been doing consulting and all that stuff kind of on the side for years before that.
So what'd you do in the corporate world?
So I've actually I've worked for agencies. I've also worked for like individual companies here in Austin. And so, yeah, I mean, I've been bouncing around, but mostly it's been like lead generation, right? So when I worked in an agency, it was more of like a full service agency. So we did SEO, paid advertising, web design, all that stuff. And then when I shifted into just working at one company, I was strictly the lead generation guy. So I was building all the landing pages, working with the media buyer to turn our traffic into leads, and then of course get those leads over to the sales guys.
Now, media buying, when I was to go through the ClickFunnels training, they covered that a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about media buying, how it's different from actually doing social media ads.
Well, so media buying, again, I don't have a lot of experience in the media buying world, but my understanding is it's essentially paid advertising on scale, right? So so instead of just focusing in Facebook, think of like AdWords, display, ad roll. So using retargeting, and essentially you're not limited to one platform. You're just getting yourself out there on a grand scale.
Okay. There was a site that Outbrain, is that media buying?
Which one?
Outbrain, that's one I kept hearing coming up in ClickFunnels. They were talking about Outbrain.
So that could be one part of it, one part of your strategy. Outbrain is more of like native advertising, so putting ads in articles and content, versus like Google Display, which is banner ads, and then you've got ad roll, which can be banner, can be native, but it's more of like they have their own network of websites that they put your ads on. So.
Okay. So what made you jump out and want to do your own thing? I mean, people don't just up and do it.
Yeah, it's funny because for like 2 months prior to August, I was telling my wife, I was praying a lot, like trying to figure out, my direction and, where God wanted me to go and all of that. And then I told my wife, I was like, it was really weird. It was like, I told her, I was like, you know what, if running an agency or growing a business, if that's not something that God wants me to do, I'm just content with where I am. I just kind of like was like, because I've been trying for years, right? you know, silly things on the side like affiliate marketing and internet marketing, all that stuff. And it never really worked for me. So I finally was just like, you know what, if this isn't meant to be, I'm just going to be grateful for the job that I have and, you know, do the best that I can, serve the company that I'm working for and just try to add a ton of value, right? Mm-hmm. And so this was like 2 months leading up to that. And then August 1st, out of nowhere, I got let go.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I was the guy driving all the leads, and they let me go. And you know, of course, afterwards, like they suffered for a while. I think it was
That's
like
how it goes.
Yeah, it was an oil and information gas. Well, it was a technology company focused in the oil and gas industry. And so, of course, when the price of oil went down, they were suffering, and their sales guys just couldn't make the sales, and so they had to let me go. So yeah, out of nowhere, I got let go, and they gave me a month's severance. Basically said, here you go, here's a month, you know, go have fun, right? And so I basically told my wife, like, I have a month to make this work, right? Like, I'm gonna work my butt off for a month. After that, we'll see what happens. So yeah, I mean, the first month was tough. Like I worked 8 hours a day, just cold prospecting because I had no clients. I had like 2 clients, but they were only paying like $300 a month, right? So I couldn't survive off of that.
Yeah.
So I had actually joined School of Genius at that time camp, like back in May. So I had been in it for, I don't know, 3-4 months. And I had gradually been doing stuff like, you know, I had a landing page up. I was gradually sending emails or, you know, but it was very haphazardly. It wasn't consistent, right? And so August 1st, I was just like, you know, I'm going to grind. I'm going to hustle. I'm going to just send out as many as I can every single day, working 8 hours a day.
Now, real quick, we got some people hopping on here. Larry Brooks, another fellow genius. What's up, Larry? My cousin Rory Ford up in Boston, Massachusetts. Thanks for joining, Rory.
What's up, guys?
Eddie, another fellow genius. Yep, Ashley Casey. First off, for the people that don't know Joel, he's one of the best marketers in the world. Like I said, I am extremely, yeah. I mean, you're supposed to shake your head. And we got some other guys that are on here that are definitely, anybody who's part of our group, man. I strongly consider us the best marketers in the world, and I'm just grateful that I'm around guys like you, Casey Carroll, Ashley Glenn, Al Eddie, Larry Brooks, Tom Tran, which Tom's not on here, but Tom's the damn man. Ashley just said Joel's the man representing Texas. Damn right.
That's right.
Damn right. So Joel's up here telling us a little bit about his story, about how he got thrust in marketing, and the reason why I asked him on here is because, like I said earlier, when I was actually, before I got into the camp group and group of people that I'm around now to help me excel my skills, Joel was one of the stories that I watched. And Ashley, I actually watched your story too. That actually, I don't know. I mean, I always have hope, man, but I just like seeing people grind and make something out of nothing. You said you got let go of your job on August 1st, 2016, and you gave yourself a month to try to make things happen. And, so talk about the mindset. Let's talk about the mindset, because that's what this really boils down to is mindset.
Oh, yeah, mindset's huge, man. Like the first month, I mean, well, I can't say the first month, but like that first month, man, was tough. Like I just felt like didn't know what I was doing. I felt like a failure because things weren't working. We're all used to seeing immediate gratification, right? You do this thing and then it results into this in a short period of time.
Especially when you work a
job. Absolutely. Because you're playing with someone else's money, right? You spend marketing dollars and then, leads come in. So it's an instant gratification thing. And that was not the case with me, man. And so it was tough. Like, the mindset, I would say is the biggest part, and it's a roller coaster, man. Some days you're on, cloud nine, you're like, this is the best day ever. And then other days you're just like, why am I doing this? I should just quit. Like, there's no point, right? So yeah, that first month was a challenge because again, I had no clients, or I had 2, but they paid $300, right? So I essentially had no clients.
That's no money. $300 isn't enough, especially to do what we do, man. Like,
not at all. Well, I've got a wife and 2 kids, so there's no way that's going to support our family, right? So Yeah, I mean, it was tough for that first month. I just kept going. Like I read this book called The Slight Edge, and it basically talks about doing 1% activities every single day. So we're all used to, or we all think that, oh, we've got to just do this massive amount of work at once, or, you know, a couple days in a row or whatever. But
Guilty.
this guy's, yeah, I do the same thing, man. And I still like have that mindset sometimes, but he's basically saying, hey, figure out what your goal is, and then break that down into daily activities, and just do the daily activity and make that your win, right? So if, you know, at the time, I had 8 hours to devote to prospecting. So I think my goal, and don't quote me on this, but let's just say it was to send 100 cold emails, right? Or to connect X number of people. I don't remember. So I just said, okay, I need to send 100 emails. And once I sent 100, I was like, awesome, I accomplished my goal today. That's a win. Even though I didn't have the results to show for it, I wasn't focused on the results, because at the end of the day, like, I can't control the results, right? I could send 1,000 emails and no one would become a client. So I can't control the results, but I can control my activity. And so I just focus on doing the daily stuff every single day. And that helped me get through those low times in that first like couple months, you know, first quarter or whatever.
That's important. Before you keep going there, and like you said, I'm guilty of that too. Because like you said, I'll do 100 emails. I've banged out 100 cold calls in a day. I don't really have 8 hours. I typically have about 6. I've done a bunch of things, and like you said, if it doesn't work out, like I said, I feel like a failure, man. And instead of like, I don't know, I don't ever want to quit. It just makes me want to work that much harder. But at that same instance, like putting more pressure on myself, and I don't know, I don't really feel pressure, man. And at the same time, your body does, your mind does. So it doesn't matter how strong you are, you start breaking down, and you know, you got to go back to the drawing board. So we all go through the same thing as business owners, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Real quick before you go back into it, we got Chris Braden, one of the best marketers in the world, on here. Dan Mattis, another one of the best marketers in the world, on here. My buddy Carl Foster, we went to high school together. Welcome, Carl. Sable Pickett, another one of the best marketers in the world. Slaughter, I used to work with him at the shipyard. He's a hell of a supervisor, hell of a guy. He's on here. And Nicole Lee is on here, another one of the best marketers on the world. So we are joined by a bunch of family on here, a bunch of fellow geniuses. Jonathan Estefes just hopped on, one of the best marketers in the world. You guys don't mind me introducing you as that, because that's how I really feel. I mean, you guys are shown time and time again. I mean, you were shaking your head, but you're a humble guy. You're really one of the best marketers in the world. And like I said, I'm glad to have you on here. So back to the mindset. Like you said, you got a small goal. So like, what is the kind of goals that you set up right now in order to make sure that you're getting your win?
You know, it varies. Like, I still send out prospecting emails. You know, one thing that I learned fairly early on, not back in August, but like just in marketing in general, is like, how do I put this? Do things that don't scale. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, we'll take cold email, for example. Cold email works, right?
Yeah.
It works for anyone as long as you're consistent at it, right? But
Exactly.
There are, you know, inexperienced guys who might send out just a generic template that they found on the internet and blast it out to 1,000 people and then complain that it doesn't work. What I do is I create a custom, you know, video. So I first build a list of my ideal clients, like the exact people I want to work with. And then I create custom videos for each one of them. And I customize the email and I make it an experience. And ultimately, that people would say that is not scalable, right? Because it's very customized, but I have found a way to make it scalable, right? So I can record a ton of custom videos in a very short period of time. And I've got people that I kind of outsource some of the video editing and all that stuff to. So I'm able to send a lot of videos at once, or a lot of emails, I should say. And they are technically cold emails, but I've gotten many responses from people like saying, you know, I get cold emails all the time, and this is the most entertaining and best one I've ever seen. Like, I've gotten responses that way because I'm doing things that are personal. You know, I would argue that they're not scalable, right? But what I would say, what I would challenge people to say is, find things that people consider non-scalable and find a way to scale them, to create a scalable model, so that you can distinguish yourself from everyone else. Because, you know, everyone sends cold emails, and the inexperienced people will just copy a template. Now, there are guys in the group that do awesome at cold emails, and it works for them. So I'm not going to say don't send cold emails. I'm just saying find your own, you know, unique approach.
Yeah. And like you said with the videos, because like you said, that isn't scalable. So when you were doing the videos, you were still getting 100 out a day?
No. So I wasn't. So it's interesting, the evolution, right? So when I was doing the custom videos, I was probably getting maybe 10 to 20 out a day.
Quality over quantity.
And right. And then I switched to creating kind of a general prospecting video. And that allowed me to scale, right? So now I was sending 100 a day or something like that. But now I've you know, took a step back and kind of went back to the whole personalized model. So I'm not sending 100 a day, but I'm able to, if I wanted to, right? If I had 8 hours a day and I didn't have any clients, yeah, I could send 100 personalized videos, but I don't, because I've got clients. So
yeah, of course you do. Of course you do. That's good, man. So real quick on this template. So with the template, you said so what you were doing is just at that point recording just the intro and kind of having the rest kind of filter into something that you kind of did once?
No, so when I created the general template, it was literally personalized the whole time. I mean, sorry, not personalized. It was just a general, like, you know, obviously you pick a niche. And so I would say, you know, this is what the campaign would look like in your area, right? I never personalized it to say, you know, XYZ company or something like that.
Okay.
But, you know, when I started moving towards the personalized one, yeah, that's when I would personalize the video and the email and that sort of thing.
But so another question, or I guess another thing I'm going to point out about that is just being able to mature through that process to be able to start where you were and to get where you were. And of course, having the mindset to continue, because like you said, I've been guilty of, even in this business and in other businesses that I joined since I kind of left the corporate world, where it's not that I'm jumping around shiny, what do they call it? Shiny object syndrome. I don't have shiny object syndrome, but when you're doing so many different things to make things work, I was trying so many different things in the space that I didn't stick with some things long enough to see them manifest. And that plays into the importance of having coaching and having people like you and guys on this call, which Parshell hopped on, another one of the best marketers in the world, awesome Super Bowl video ad. But having a group of people that you can bounce ideas off of and talk to is important, because if not, you'll be all over the place. And, you know, you can figure it out on your own. It's going to take a lot longer. But, you know, that's why I appreciate having guys like you that I can talk to and help me along the path. And for anybody who else is on here, you may not be a marketer, even though, you know, we got some of the best marketers in the world on here. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you got to have people that you can reach out to. You know, like I said in another video, you can watch YouTube and figure out things and find someone that relates to you and kind of follow a path. But, you know, spending money on coaching is the best investment that you can make in order to get to where you're trying to go the fastest possible way. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be where I am without the guys and the gals in all of these masterminds and groups that I'm a part of. Like, you know, I mean, I've been in School of Genius back when, you know, Casey and Stephanie and, you know, Ashley, we were all kind of starting out at the same time, and we all kind of went through the same struggles, you know, and a bunch of other people. I mean, we all go through the same struggles, but being able to lean on people who, you know, the day before or maybe the week before got out of that struggle, and now they can share and kind of help lift other people up. I mean, and that's huge, because if you don't have that network, you're going to quit. You know, it's hard, and without that, you can't do it yourself. You know,
business is hard altogether, man. Like, you know, just to be able to, like you said, you were kind of thrust into it kind of same way I was. You were let go and you had to do something. I was kind of let go. I had to do something. Some people are in a situation where they get to kind of take their time, and it's always good to have extra income and more income coming in and guaranteed income while you're doing it. But in the cases that you can't, man, you just got to get your head on straight and go. And even sometimes, like even in my head, I know that I might be self-sabotaging myself, but I would never know it until someone else tells me. But you have to be, like you said, if you have people you can lean on, man, like I know Casey will tell people straight up if they're messing up. Yeah, Casey doesn't hold back, and I love that about him.
Yeah, and that's important too, because I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, it might come across as harsh, or people might get offended, which I mean, I don't know why they would, but you know, people get offended, yeah, and then you just got to realize we care about people in the group, right? So we're not going to sugarcoat things because we want you to change, or you know, we want you to get where you want to go, and in order to do that, like sometimes you got to hear the hard stuff, you know, and take it and use it to grow and to change and things like that.
Yeah, anytime I submit a call, like, because I've submitted quite a few my campaigns for Billy to rip up, and I always ask him, like, rip it to shreds, don't hold back, you know, because at the end of the day, man, if it looks like shit, tell me it looks like shit. I'd rather know, instead of you getting patted on the ass telling me everything's good and I'm still over here failing. You know, that's why, you know, like you said, I'm around. I want to know what's up, man. So I remember who said it, was like Dave Chappelle. He said, I'm not a sugar cookie getter. I don't want sugar cookies. I want the real deal. So we just had another person, James Furman, one of the best marketers in the world. James is hop on here, man. So any other words of wisdom you want to impart before we start going through what you're grateful for and the whole game thing? Is anything else you want to tell anybody who's might be in a bad situation mentally, that just probably needs a little bit of an extra push? Keep going.
You know, I think my common message, you know, it was in my first video that you watched years ago, and you know, I try to tell everyone this, like, it's all about consistency. You know, like, things aren't going to work at first, but be consistent, keep going, because eventually they will work. And you know, honestly, I'm saying this out loud, like, I got to tell myself this all the time. You know, I'm not like, I haven't figured it out, because I go through this too, but consistency wins in the long run. You know, I think I heard a quote, no one does, I honestly, I can't remember the quote. I'll like put it in a comment later on. It's like, nobody does something consistently, but if they do, they win, right? You know, so it's that idea of, even if just doing, you know, one step or 1% every single day is going to result in, it's going to bring in better results than if you were to just do large bursts throughout, you know, throughout the week or something like that. It's just like practicing an instrument, right?
Yeah.
People who practice 10 to 15 minutes a day are better at their instruments than someone who practices an hour twice a week. So
I go through that in jiu-jitsu. My coach is on me all the time because I only do it twice a week now. Yeah.
Nice, man.
My son does it more than I do. He does it 3 days a week. I do it 2 days a week. And because of when his class is over, if I stay and do my class, then it'll be way too late for us to get home. So I had to just make a decision that I would only do it 2 days when we can actually get home at a decent time. But, and, you know, he told me, but like I told him, the way he is about jiu-jitsu, which he's a beast, that's how I am about this. I put in at least, I mean, I'd probably say at least 12 hours a day. It's not always on the computer. It's not always prospective, but between learning my craft, studying my craft, I put in countless hours every day. And this is, you know, this is what I do. So that's more or less for health reasons, man. But I'm in total agreement with you. So let's see if we didn't have any more comments in the chat, man. So to kind of wrap things up, I wanted to ask you, of course, you know, I always talk about Gabe, and that's something I came up a few years ago, kind of just to keep me going and figure out how to best move forward throughout the day. So G stands for gratitude, A is for appreciation, V is for visualization, and we do that every day. So what are you grateful for, Joel?
Man, you know, I'm grateful for my wife. You know, I think I wouldn't be where I am without her support, because there's been many times that I wanted to quit, but she's always been the one who's like, no, you got to keep going. You can do it. She's been my rock and my support. So definitely my wife.
That's amazing, man, because especially as an entrepreneur, the significant other, even when they do support, they're not always like, they're not saying you can't do it, but they're not always as supportive. So for her to actually push you in, you know, in a bad spot, man, that's, you know, you got a wonderful woman there. Lucky one. I got a good one too. So I'm extreme. You got to meet her.
Awesome, man.
So,
yeah, I did.
Yeah, she loved the event, by the way, man. She said, even though I wasn't a marketer, man, she is so excited and glad that she went, and you guys treated her like family. So, I mean, I expected nothing less. I wanted her to know that when she got there, that everybody was going to be, you know, welcome her with open arms, and they did. So she was extremely happy.
Yeah.
Next, what do you appreciate?
I appreciate, the groups and the masterminds I'm a part of. Like I said, the advice, the guidance, through Billy, through all of my mentors, like the fact that they take the time to help you out and help you grow. I mean, that's huge, man. And I just appreciate the opportunity to be a part of those groups and to learn from those guys, man. They are just phenomenal. They obviously know what they're talking about. They're the best in the world for sure.
Definitely, man. Definitely. And I know that there's some people that, like you said, that aren't even in our group that can be considered some of the best in the world as well. And it's like you said, just surrounding yourself with the best. How could you not become the best? I mean, and I tell people all the time, like my number one goal is, of course, to help people. But I don't know, kind of like even with the mixed martial arts thing or just fighting in general, because I like the UFC, it's all about, I don't know, it's like having the belt. And no one can literally have the belt in marketing, but it's almost just like, I don't know, that's just my attitude. I'm competitive. At the same time, it's not to be cocky. If some people take it that way, then that's just on them. So anyway, visualization. What's your vision?
In business or in life? Like, what do you mean?
Whichever one strikes you first. I mean, you can tell us both.
I mean, I want to make an impact in the world. And obviously through business, I felt like the best way to do that is to help business owners who can then go and help their clients and their customers. Because, at the end of the day, like I can only help so many people, but if I can help them go and help people, like that kind of compounds on itself. So, I mean, just really making an impact, serving people the best of my ability, yeah, I mean, I guess that's my vision.
And as far as life, so that's the business vision, of course, is helping people. And I guess that trickles into life too, but what's your vision for your family?
Yeah, like serving. Yeah, man, just to be the best, to be the best father, husband, to be an example towards people, so I mean, I'm a Christian, so showing that love towards people, and, serving people, like that's really, my heart, right, is service. So any way I can serve someone, like that brings joy to me, right? So serving my family, my kids, being the best husband and father, and, all of that stuff, I think is huge for the family.
I'm in agreement with you, man. Like that's like my number one goal. And sometimes, like, of course, we need to make money to survive, but
sure,
sometimes, being a dad is like number one to me. And of course, being a husband, like I take my job of being a dad serious, man. So I'm totally in agreement.
I mean, one thing that scares me, and you see the statistic all the time, is like those guys who are just crazy successful, millions upon millions of dollars, and like they don't see their kids, and they're on their second or third wife. Like I would rather make a fraction of that and have my family and spend time with my family, have a deep relationship with my family. So I'm all about, family first. And, but of course I want to build wealth for my family and ultimately generational wealth. Like that's my goal. So they can go and use those tools to serve and help other people too. But yeah, family first, man, at least for me, all the way.
Definitely, man. Cause man, I feel like, I can't be one of those guys, like you said, not to, to have my son and not to see my son. And like you said, to make millions of dollars and not have that, I just can't fathom. I mean, because like you said, we're doing it for them anyway. I mean, because, growing up, I'm pretty sure, you weren't rich. I wasn't rich. So, money is the root of a lot of issues that happen in the household. And, the biggest reason why I want to make a lot of money is just so I can solve that issue. So that way we can, like I said, connect on a deeper level with our family. Because, if I don't have to worry about finances, that just makes me even that much of a better father, because I can actually connect with my son and not have to be running there. And the same thing with my wife and my family. So, I mean, overall, I want to give my family a reset. People, my family that rocks with me, the family that don't, I won't be able to get to everybody, but my goal is to one day is, make my whole family financially free, and at least give them education and put them in a position where maybe they can try that. Cause there's a lot of things that, habits and things that happen, because of lack of money that transfer to generations, man. And that's my job, like you said, is to change that. So, that being said, we got your GAV, and when do we do that, Joel?
Every day, buddy.
Every day. Start your day with it, end your day with it, and you'll see the difference that happens in between in your life each and every day, man. So We didn't have any comments. We had a bunch of thumbs and hearts and all that stuff. Robin Alex hopped on. Renee Gruber, 2 of the best marketers in the world. Shout out to Robin for winning the most genius award. That dude is a beast, and he just put out an excellent video. It got me fired up, man. It made me want to go do something. I'm gonna do something, Alex. Coming back. But I appreciate you hopping on, Joel. Again, this is Bulletproof Mindset. Man, I really do appreciate it, man. Like I said, your story inspired me, and I'm hoping that I'm pretty sure it inspired some people on this line. So with that being said, Sable said, thank you, Gerard and Joel. Great video. We appreciate you hopping on. And we're going to wrap this up, man. We got to actually get back to making some sales and helping some more folks, right?
All
right, guys.
That's right.
Thanks, Jonathan. Jonathan said, love it. And hey, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up because I'll keep going. What time is it anyway? It's 10 o'clock. So, yeah. Thank you, James. James, thanks for hopping on. James is another great guy, man. James hopped on, and when I first got in the game, he was helping me. And I remember his first prospected video or his first testimonial, man. That it got me so upset, not like out of jealousy, just like, man, this dude's killing it, and there's so much out there I can do. It just gets me fired up, man. That's why I like being around you guys. You guys are awesome. So, Robin said, "What's up?" Most genius. That was pretty dope. That guy's smart as shit. I mean, stuff. Watch my mouth. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, Joel, thank you very much. And yeah, gratitude, appreciation, visualization every day. Thank you guys for joining. Later.
Thank you.
Later.